What's up, Nick fans? How we doing? Sorry for the little bit of a delay. My audio wasn't working, so I had to get that fixed up. But we're back. 10:40 p.m. Eastern. I hope y'all having a great night. I am not particularly having an amazing night. The Knicks lost tonight. Lost by 8. Although it felt more like a 20-point loss at the end of the day. I mean, the last plays of the game with Julius Randle doing his little spin move and RJ Barrett bricking that three with like 20 seconds left on the clock. It just didn't look good. But we're still here. We're still podcasting. I didn't get to podcast the Clippers game yesterday. It was a 1 p.m. game, so it was a little bit of weird timing, and I couldn't get live, so not a big deal. We played a great game against the Clippers yesterday, even though we lost, because they're a good team, but we lost to the Bulls tonight, which was just a bad loss, nonetheless. Anyway, highlight players tonight, obviously, Emmanuel Quickley coming off the bench. But there was a few disappointing things that Thibodeau did that I definitely would criticize, and I'd like to talk about them today. But I'll get into that. But first, I'm going to talk more about the starters. Guys like Julius Randle tonight, I mean, they could have played better. That's definitely something that I've got to criticize tonight is Julius Randle. He had 7 assists, 11 rebounds, 22 points. But we all know that sometimes stats can lie. It's kind of when it matters, when it counts the most. And he put up some bad decisions. I'm not sure if Thibodeau made him do that weird hezzy twice and then spin move, but he turned it over at the very end there. And that was kind of the fatal blow to the Knicks because after that play, Zach LaVine comes up, he smacks a 3, and then boom, the Knicks are down by 6. And at that point, it kind of blew us out of the water. But I will say, despite that last play, he played a good game tonight. I think the back-to-backs are finally starting to show off a little bit. We can't be playing Sunday and then traveling Saturday after, by the way, a snowstorm in New York's been going on. I got a whole snow day today, which is a big deal, but that's not the point. It's that the Knicks, playing a back-to-back game, we didn't play a great game against the Clippers, although we put up a good effort. And then we lose to this Bulls team, which was the biggest disappointment of it all, because the Bulls, being 8-11 coming into this now, they were 7-11, and only really having one guy to worry about, Zach LaVine. Their bench was diminished today. They had Daniel Gafford starting because Wendell Carter has been out with that injury. I think he's out the next 4 weeks or something like that, something crazy like that. So it's really been a shame that we lost tonight. Ryan Arcidiacono was the best guy coming off their bench. That is, if Cristiano Felicio did or didn't start. I don't think he started, so maybe he was the best guy coming off their bench, but we really just didn't play a great game tonight. Patrick Williams, he was the 4th pick in the draft. He had a good game tonight. I'll give him that. A lot of open looks, though. He had a nice little dunk at the rim. He kind of tripped out Julius Randle, and he got an open look, which was nice, but we just didn't play nearly as good as they did tonight. It's just that simple. Randle shooting 1 for 4 from 3. The 3-point shooting was the most disappointing thing by far. Quickly went 2 for 7, which honestly for a rookie you can expect that, but 2 for 7 is just not a great sample size for a guy like Quickly. He played 30 minutes tonight, which is starter minutes. He put up 16, 7, and 6, which is really legit numbers, by the way. That's LaMelo Ball type of numbers, but SportsCenter won't show you that, will they? But anyway, he played a decent game tonight. At the end of the day, a loss is a loss, and this was a disappointing one, so I'd say that this was one of the bigger losses of the season because the Chicago Bulls are another team that's probably going to try and make a run for the play-in tournament. But one guy I really want to talk about is Elfrid Payton, okay? And I know I'm kind of bouncing off, going randomly here, but Elfrid Payton is maybe one of the worst players in the NBA right now, position fit-wise. He sits in the corner when he's in the game, and when he's not, he takes the ball and he makes bad decisions. He made some shots tonight. He made 2 out of 5. He only played 18 minutes, give or take. But at the end of the day, he just isn't going to fit into our rotation, so I don't understand why he's still on the team. If you want to call up anybody, I understand, DSJ's decision, and I'll talk about that more, but to go to the G League. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have a guy like Frank out there than Elfrid Payton. I just don't understand. Maybe Theo Pinson. I don't know. It just isn't working. He can't shoot. Frank, when he was playing, was proving that he could shoot the 3 ball in the corner, kind of like Knox can. And I'll also talk about Knox later. But it was just a really disappointing play from Payton tonight. Like always, I mean, he's good on-ball defender sometimes. I say sometimes because he's been inconsistent with that. When he guarded Steph Curry, did a good job. But otherwise, I mean, there's no real standout games there. One game I will keep a close eye on, and I will commentate through it a little bit, is this Suns-Mavericks game going on. I don't think it is legal for me to actually play the audio or play the game itself on live stream, so I'm going to veer away from doing that. But this matters a lot to the Knicks, this Mavs Suns game. And obviously that may be something you're saying, what? Why does this matter to us? We're Knicks fans. Well, we have Dallas's pick, so the more games they lose, the better pick we have a potential of getting. I'm not sure who's at home tonight. I'm not going to really look into it that much, honestly, but at the end of the day, if we can win this game, that's a big deal for us. Or I'm sorry, I'm saying us, but the Suns are the ones playing. Anyway, we'll look more back at that once the game is actually over. Anyway, Reggie Bullock, bad game tonight. That was just really disappointing. 0 for 4 from 3. It's pretty much his job is to make threes. He didn't do it tonight. Made 2 free throws out of his 4 points. It's just a terrible game from Reggie tonight. I'm not going to hold back on that. He's a guy who I don't even like starting. I'd rather have Alec Burks start and have him off the bench. I feel like he'd just be better in that role. But obviously he started tonight, and he was extremely disappointing coming off of injury. Mitchell Robinson played an okay game tonight. I was very annoyed at the 2 personal fouls he got at the beginning, and he just didn't play nearly as good as Nerlens Noel tonight, who I will get into later. But Mitchell Robinson, 4 for 6, 9 points, 8 rebounds. It's just a Mitchell Robinson type of game. The fouls, though, he's done a very good job throughout the season, but the fouling was disappointing tonight. I will call that out. 2 fouls in 6 minutes or so, 2 fouls, 5 minutes, something like that. And he had to get subbed out of the game, and that benched him for most of the game because Nerlens Noel played a better game than he did. Alfred Payton, I already covered you. You didn't play a hot game tonight. That's obvious. RJ Barrett, I have mixed feelings because I feel like he played almost kind of like the way Randall played, in the way that he put up some decent stats. I'll give him that. 14, 7, and 3 is not something you'd like to see from RJ. I want to see more around the 20 point, but I can't expect him to get 20 every night. But the 3 assists, they were nice dimes. I'll say most of them were. He had a little lob to Mitchell Robinson at the beginning, which I think he made it. I'm not sure. But I was most disappointed at the fact that he missed that corner 3 at the end. Now, I don't expect you to hit every shot, okay? Especially not RJ being one of the worst 3-point shooters in the league right now. I expect you to at least take smart shots. Now, that 3-pointer there at the end, I don't know if Tibbs drew up that play or not, but that was really bad. I just didn't understand it. There was 22 seconds on the clock. You could have pump fake, driven to the rim, had an open 2, maybe went for a steal or a foul, but you settle for a terrible look from 3, and you lose the game because you're down by 6 and you got a foul, and by that point the game was already decided. Now, he played 30 minutes tonight, which I was actually kind of happy about in a way because we need to rest some of these guys. Julius Randle playing 39 minutes was, I think, the biggest L tonight, especially in a loss. Like, you can't be playing your best player 30, 39, 40 minutes a game, every game, and expect him to produce crazy results. Like, not even LeBron James does that in this point in his career. Sometimes they'll be winning by a good amount, or they'll be losing by a good amount, which doesn't typically happen with the Lakers, but if they're winning by a good amount, he just doesn't play. If we're winning by a good amount, Julius Randle is usually playing. I don't understand that from Tibbs. And at the end of the day, I'm not comparing Julius Randle and prime Derrick Rose, but the reason Derrick Rose tore his ACL in a way was overuse, clearly, the way he played. That has a lot to do with it. But also that Tibbs, he keeps players in games that are already decided. Now, that's the thing I worry about the most. And I'm hoping that that Julius Randle stays healthy. But at this rate, playing 40 minutes a game and losses like this, it just doesn't make sense to me. But kind of moving on, Obi played 9 minutes tonight. He played a good game. Had no trouble with it. The 2 personal fouls, a little much in 9 minutes. But at the end of the day, he shot efficiently, didn't miss. He made both of his free throws, 4 points. He's just really not integrated into the offense, and I'm not sure when he will be or how he will be. But he's he's a good lob threat out there. He's kind of reminding me of Mitch right now. But he needs to play better defense. He needs to keep the ball in his hands. And he needs to just up his confidence. I think a big issue of Obi has been his confidence level, him just not wanting to be the ball-dominant guy, which is better for the team. But sometimes we just want to scream at Obi and say, listen, dude, just take the ball, be confident, go to the rim. It's okay if you miss. It's okay if you get fouled. We just need you to get those looks, being the 8th pick in the draft. I just don't want him to fall out of the rotation early, especially being this young. But I think there's definitely a lot of work to do on Obi. I think his shot could use some work. Obviously, he didn't take any threes tonight, but the game before that, the Clippers game, his shot arc is just way too high. Like, I know Clyde mentioned it maybe it was Mike. I'm not sure who commentated. I forget. At the end of the day, he just is. Okay, I believe you guys can hear me now. I am sorry about that. Thank you for reminding me that my mic wasn't working. It was working, though. It was. And I was just trying to fix it then. But, like I was saying, I'm not sure when I exactly dropped out there, but I was just saying that Nerlens Noel had a great game. I have no idea what just happened with my microphone. I just had to plug it in, plug it out, and then plug it back in. I don't know what happened. But, Nerlens Noel, great game tonight. 5 blocks, 8 points, 7 rebounds. And 28 minutes. He played better than Mitch tonight. He kept the personal fouls to 1. And even then, I thought the personal foul that he did have wasn't even a foul. The refs just called it that way. But obviously, Austin Rivers, I'll just move on to him now. He had a terrible night. He hoisted one up at the buzzer, so I won't really count that 3. But at the end of the day, doing 0 for 2 from 3 if you're not counting that. He didn't even make all of his free throws, and 0 for 4 from the field. Well, 0 for 3 if you're not counting that three-pointer. But he just didn't come out to play tonight. 1 point, 1 assist, 1 rebound. Triple single, right? That's what we call it. And he didn't play good tonight. He has games like that, but he'll have better games coming up in the future. Alec Burks played a phenomenal game tonight. He's 18 points? Yeah, 18 points. He had 2 steals. I think he had that 1 steal, and then on the fast break on Levine, he scored. That was a big-time point. And then he had the 1 assist, 1 rebound. 3 from 4 from the free throw line. Sorry, we're getting a call in here. I'm thinking Zach. All right. How you doing, Zach? You got any questions or comments here?
From Knicks4Clicks.
Yes, sir. This is Knicks4Clicks. How you doing, Zach?
Sounds good. Good. How are you?
I'm good.
I just wanted to know what you thought about Kevin Knox. It seems he's lost his spot in the rotation.
Yeah, that's something I was going to talk about tonight. I appreciate the call, Zach. I'm going to hang up now. Hope you enjoyed the podcast.
Thank you.
Yep. I'll talk a little bit about Kevin Knox. I got a CBS article pulled up about him right now. Obviously, he didn't get played in the Clippers game. That was kind of a disappointing thing to see. Obviously, when we were getting blown out by like 15 points at the end there was really no reason for him not to see the floor. But I just don't think that he's going to fit in this rotation anymore. I know that hurts to say because he's such a young player. But I think he was averaging somewhere, it says here, 6.1 points, 2.2 rebounds. And he's going to make about a 3-pointer a game and 18 minutes a game. But I feel like he's more at this point trade bait. I threw him in the Lonzo trade not long ago on our podcast. If you want to go check that out, a few podcasts back, we talked about Lonzo trades. And if we're going to make a trade at the deadline for a younger guy like Lonzo or any sort of young point guard, he has to be involved in that trade. There's no reason for him not to be, with Quickly playing so great. Austin didn't have a great game tonight, but he's been playing great other than that. And then Alec Burks, he just doesn't fit in this rotation at all, which is one of the more unfortunate things about this team at this point. And I have no idea why, but we can't find a trade for him. So once we find a trade for Kevin Knox, I think he's gone. He probably won't be in the G League this year. Obviously, DSJ's already been moved there. Ignas Brazdegas is already there. So what, you want the best G League team ever? I know I was joking about that not long ago, but I mean, he's just not going to work out in the G League. That's just going to make him more mad, and I think that he's definitely trade bait at this point. I'm not sure if he's going to get any more minutes unless he proves himself in practice, but his defense hasn't really improved. His offense has really only improved from the corners, and it's kind of a shame to say, but Kevin Knox has fallen out of the rotation almost permanently at this point, I think. But going back, I appreciate the question, Zach. Thanks for calling in. Call in at 203-961-3409 at the top. If you want to talk about Knicks, give me your opinions, questions, any of that sort of stuff. But I'll hop on a little bit more to Alec Burks because I know I was just talking about him. He had that one clutch three at the very end. I thought that was really nice. But we definitely need to see more from him in the fact that if he's going to be traded at the deadline, we need to see better production. As in, I know he shot 6 for 12. You're probably asking yourself, Jack, what more can we expect from him? I would expect probably a lower sample size on the shots if he's going to play 29 minutes. We had guys like RJ out there with him. We had guys like Julius out there with him who should primarily be the ones taking the shots. And Alec Burks took some crazy ones tonight that I didn't expect to go in. Obviously, like I said, though, he had that 1-3 at the end was nice. Scoring 18 points tonight, 2 steals. He played some serviceable defense. So, overall, good game from Alec Burks. It's just another guy that I feel like will be packaged with Kevin Knox at the trade deadline. Let's talk a little bit about Emmanuel quickly. This is the most fun player to watch this year on this Knicks team by a mile. It's been fun to watch Julius. It's been fun to watch RJ. And it's also been fun to watch Quickly. Kid played 30 minutes tonight, 5 for 13. He has so much confidence. He just chucks up every single shot. And it's a good thing in a way. But it's also his kryptonite in a way because he took some bad shots in that fourth quarter that I wish he could have back. Because I feel like he probably could have either taken more time on some of the shots or he maybe just couldn't have shot them at all, maybe passed it off somewhere else. But some of the deep threes are a little crazy. I was mentioning during the game that it almost looks like he's heaving it at the rim sometimes. He's shooting from that deep. So I'm hoping we see less shots from Quickly and better production. 2 for 7 from 3 is nothing to cry about, especially with like a 21-year-old kid, however old he is, 20, 21, something like that. But 4 for 4 from the free throw line, that's expected for Quickly. There's a standard set for him where he just needs to make every free throw. The kid shoots like 93% from the line right now, so he's playing out of his mind in that respect. But the 2 personal fouls came pretty early, and then the 7 assists, that was nice to see. He threw a lob the second he got into game against Noel, and that was something I really like to see as well. And the 6 rebounds, again, LaMelo Ball numbers, but the media won't tell you about it because Manu Quickly was the 25th pick in the draft. I mean, can you blame the media? They don't want to talk about that. A guy on the Bulls I want to talk about. Well, there's 2 guys for 2 different reasons. Lauri Markkanen. I want to talk about him because he played an absolutely amazing game tonight versus us. Give props to him. 35 and 2 with his steal. Although he had 4 turnovers, that kind of is overshadowed by the fact that he had 30 points. He's a guy who I had in fantasy actually for a little while, but he's been inconsistent this season. And him making 6 3-pointers on our heads tonight was crazy. I mean, he was on fire probably throughout the first 3 quarters of the game. I'd say he was on fire. He slowed down a little bit at the end there. He kind of went cold, which was a great thing for us. But at the end of the day, he came out, scored 30 points, really shut us down tonight. Julius abused the matchup, but he outmatched Julius tonight. He looked like Porzingis tonight. He didn't look like the Lauri Markkanen of old. He looked like the Lauri Markkanen of new versus the Knicks team. And I also want to talk about Zach LaVine. Now, I know the other day, I forgot that we were going to play the Bulls, but I know I mentioned that we were in the trade talks about Zach LaVine, or at least we were monitoring the situation. Now, I don't think personally that he's going to be traded. I don't think the Bulls have a reason to. He is their cornerstone to this rebuild. But at the end of the day, he is just an outstanding player. 3 for 6 from 3, and he's one of the most athletic, if not the most athletic player in the league right now, I'd say. Coming in with 21 points on us. He hit the dagger to kill us tonight. Put them up by 6. There was just a slacking of defense. Nerlens Noel backed off to guard Thaddeus Young for whatever reason when we hired someone in the paint already. And that really screwed us the game. He had a dagger on us. Yeah, it was quite the shame. Thaddeus Young also had a nice game tonight, 60% from the field, 13 points. Although, I don't really want to talk that much about the Bulls bench tonight because they didn't outperform anything. Garrett Temple was probably their second best player off the bench tonight. The dude had 6 points on 2 for 8 shooting. And I see that this Suns-Mavericks game is ended. Very good to see. As far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure Devin Booker hit a game-winning 3. And I'm not sure if I'm allowed to play it on stream, so I won't. But great for him, great for us. The Mavericks have now fallen to 8-13, which is pretty much the Knicks record right now. We're 9-13. We played one more game than them, so that's fair. But at the same time, if both of us don't make the playoffs, if both of us are in the play-in tournament, we don't make it. We got 2 lottery picks coming up this year. So that's going to be a really nice thing to see. Luka Doncic has been quite inconsistent, but tonight he had a good shooting game, I'd say. I know 7 for 19 isn't great, but 10 for 11 from the free throw line is crazy. Chris Paul had a great game tonight. He's another guy. But you know what? Let's talk about the Mavericks. Although it is a good thing that they lost tonight. I think they lost the past 2 games. Yeah, look at that. Their season series pretty much over at this point. The Suns swept them in the season series. Great to see. I'm very happy about that little mini series between the Mavericks and the Suns. I wouldn't mind seeing that in the playoffs if they made it. But at the end of the day, the worse the Mavericks get, the happier I am. But you know what? I think I'm going to talk a little bit about Dennis Smith Jr. now. I know I mentioned his situation earlier. It's a shame at the same time that it's a good decision for him. Dennis Smith Jr. did reportedly say that he requested to be moved down to the G League. Now, you may be thinking at home, if you're listening, why would he request to go to a lower league? Now, I think it's a humble decision, but I think it's also a fatal decision for Dennis. He said he just wants to get more playing time, which makes sense, and he wants to get the ball, and he wants to keep being athletic and playing his game and stuff like that. But moving down to the G League is not a decision I think you want to make if you're a player who was a lottery pick at one point. It almost is confirming that you were a bust. He's kind of following Josh Jackson's footsteps in that way, where he may not be on this Knicks team for much longer. It's a shame that after his rookie season, he looked like he was going to be a superstar. But the unfortunate part about it is that now he's fallen to the G League. This may be Dennis Smith Jr.'s last few weeks with the Knicks. Same with Kevin Knox. I could definitely see them being moved an Alonzo deal if that was going to happen. But if he plays well in the G League, good on him. I'm hoping he gets some more minutes on the roster. But at this point, if his jump shot doesn't improve, his game will not improve because there is nothing else he can do at this point. He's already as athletic as he's ever going to be. And if he can't get his jump shot right, then he's probably going to fall out of the league, unfortunately. And I think that's it tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the live stream. I know it was a short one. There's not much to talk about. The Knicks taking out tonight, disappointing one at anything. But if y'all enjoyed the live stream, please drop a like, subscribe, and put on notifications for more. We do pre-games and post-games depending on the times. If it's a West Coast game, it's usually a pre-game. Considering, the post-games, even on weekends, they're like 1 in the morning, so there's no point. But if y'all enjoyed, like I said, drop a like, subscribe,